Nanaya Edu. Welcome to the Much Ado About Nothing podcast. So yeah, my name is Nanaya. I'm 22. I'm a recent graduate living in East London. Love poetry, love writing, love personal essays, love ranting about the state of the world. Yeah, welcome to my podcast. Welcome to my podcast. Yeah, essentially, I started this podcast because, as I said, I love ranting about politics, but it can be intense for the people in your life, and I get that. I get that. That's why I made this podcast. I made this podcast as an outlet, but also so that there'd be a safe space for people like me. So if you're someone who really gets heated about the state of the world, you're welcome here. You're welcome here. We're going to talk about topics, stuff happening in the world, and we're going to look at them through a critical lens. Yeah, I hope you leave loving me, leave this episode wanting more. But yeah, if you enjoyed this podcast, if you enjoy listening to me speak about the state of the world, there's plenty more that came from. There's plenty more. Hit the follow button so that you don't miss an upload. Follow the pod or at the Much Ado About Nothing pod on Instagram and TikTok. So yeah, welcome to the Much Ado About Nothing podcast. Essentially, the format is I find a comment that I find interesting, problematic, insightful, weird. I bring it here and we chat about it. That's basically it. But it's my podcast, so if I decide to change the format, get with the program. It is what it is. But let's start with a little recap about what I've been up to in the week. So yeah, pretty much the usual job applications. Another day, another slay, I guess. The jump from undergrad to unemployed is actually so steep. It's just, someone needs to look into that. It's mad. It's wild. Anyway, yeah, I did a cute little poetry film shoot with a friend, which was awesome. Yeah, I only got to see a few clips of the stuff they were filming, but I just know it's going to be sick. Yeah, I'm also kind of planning to go to an open mic at some point during this week, but it's that time of the year where it's so cold and dark, and it seems like nothing's worth leaving the comfort of my bed in my house, especially at night. So it's taking everything inside of me to like actually go. So let's see where I actually go in the end. But yeah, the Christmas tree's not up in our house yet, so it's not really feeling Christmassy yet. My plan initially was the Christmas tree is going to go up on the 1st of December, but it's not up, and Christmas is so close. Why is it creeping up on us? Sorry, but I feel like December is creeping. Christmas is creeping up on us too fast for my liking. Stop, slow down. I'm not ready for the new year. But yeah, the Christmas tree's in the shed and it's cold and dark in the shed. I don't want to go into the shed. Like, I really don't want to go. Like, just thinking about it makes me want to throw a bad boy tantrum, toddler in Tesco tantrum style. But yeah, my sister's in uni. Usually, because I've been in uni, when it's usually time to put the Christmas tree up, I usually just like kind of almost bully her into taking out the tree. But she's not here, so I can't even be like rock, paper, scissors and trick her into doing it, which sucks. I also kind of miss her, but don't let her know. Yeah. So yeah, once the tree is up, I guess I can finally swap my Grinchy mood for some elf ears and put my Santa brain on and start planning and getting Christmas presents. I'm sick of gifting people. It's my talent, it's my skill, it's fact. Yeah. But yeah, not a very eventful week, but it's been a good week. It's good. Stuff has been done that had to be done. But yeah, Yeah, it's been a good week. Good week. Let's just move on to the comment section. So, what's the comment of the day? The comment of the week? The comment of the day is by akiomaroon. But there are actually three comments which are all interesting talking points for this conversation today. But let's just start with akiomaroon's comment. And it says, "How is it not justice to make Puffy bleed green?" And that's in response to another person's comment where they're like, so it was about money and not getting justice for what he actually did. And there's a third comment after Aki's comment that says dethroning him is justice. So if you're not like chronically online like me, you're probably wondering what exactly is happening here. But I'll tell you. By the way, if you want to see like the comments, just head to the podcast Instagram account and you can read along and just see the original screenshot in case you're someone who's like more visual. But yeah, okay. So first of all, this episode is gonna focus on stuff that's actually quite heavy, quite serious. I'm not gonna be too graphic in my descriptions, but there will be references and mentions of sexual and physical violence and sex trafficking. So it's a really heavy topic, and if it's something that you don't really want to engage with at this moment, feel free to take a break and return to the episode at a different time. But yeah, it's an important conversation, and if you choose to stay and listen on, I hope you find it insightful and affirming to some degree, I guess. But yeah, as I said, there's not gonna be like any graphic descriptions or anything, just references to it, and specifically references to the criminal justice system. So here's the context of the comments. So recently, P. Diddy, Puff Diddy, or Diddy, there's always like different names, different ways of referring to himself. He's an American rapper, singer, record producer, record executive, and actor who was recently sued by the R&B singer Cassie, the one who made that killer hit song, "It's Me and You, I've been waiting, thinking you can make a move, tell me if you like it, tell me if you It's such a good song. Yeah, gosh, I kind of want to put it on now. Anyway, yeah, so that's Cassie's song, Cassie suing Diddy, and Diddy's lawyer said Miss Ventura, which is referring to Cassie, had demanded $30 million, in quotes, under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship. Cassie accused Diddy of rape and sex trafficking, according to the BBC, and this supposedly took place over a 10-year period where he was sexually and physically abusing her. Also, it's worth noting recently he's actually been accused of rape in a new lawsuit by another woman. But yeah, according to the Cosmopolitan, Cassie issued a statement thanking her family and legal team for their support, saying, "I have decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control." But yeah, the post these comments are under actually a post by the Poor Horseman podcast, POUR, Poor Horseman podcast. I guess it's a play on the word Four Horsemen. Yeah, but basically, on their podcast, they had the attorney, Dr. Simone Redwine, and in the clip, she's basically like explaining that Cassie's legal team were brilliant in their approach because Cassie sued Diddy and his corporations in her capacity as an employee. And according to Dr. Simone, this triggered commercial liability insurance and something she says was directors and officers' policies. I don't know this stuff. I'm not a lawyer, and I definitely don't know much about American law, but that's what Dr. Simone says. So basically, she's like, in doing so, Cassie's team was able to take away Diddy's individual choice to settle, which is like a win for Cassie. And also, one of the hosts says in that same clip that Diddy's public reputation is done. So yeah, essentially, supposedly Cassie and her team are tactical in their approach, and they successfully managed to extract what's most likely a large sum from Diddy and his corporations. And yeah, also I remember she said that Cassie sued him, as in like it's a civil case, not a criminal one, and that in itself was beneficial for her. Yeah. So that's the background info. It's a lot, I understand, but it's like a crucial part of the discussion. And with this context in mind and having read the comments, the question I want to explore is, what do we mean by justice? Like, what exactly is justice? Especially when we're talking about justice in sexual violence cases, especially cases which involve powerful and wealthy suspects or culprits. So yeah, so let's begin with a good old definition. But what you're going to realize when you type justice definition is that the word justice is quite broad and has different meanings for different contexts. But I think what's closest to what we're trying to figure out, or say for this conversation, is retributive justice. So one of the core principles of retributive justice is the principle that those who commit certain kinds of wrongful acts, paradigmatically serious crimes, morally deserve to suffer a proportionate punishment. And this is according to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. But also, while we're talking about justice, here's something that might be interesting for you to know. So there's also something called restorative justice. And restorative justice is about bringing those who have been harmed by crime or conflict and those responsible for the harm, bringing them into communication so that everyone affected by a specific incident can play a part in repairing the harm and finding a positive way forward. And this is part of a wider field called restorative practice. So restorative justice is something you probably come across if you work or have engaged with academic literature, videos or conversations related to the reform of the criminal justice system, or calls for abolishing prisons or abolishing the police. So yeah, restorative justice is a big thing in conversations like that. So that's something new for you to learn, to drop, to say in conversations, to bring up. But yeah, most times when we're talking about justice, specifically when it involves like irreversible harm being done to one's physical body, as is the case with sexual violence, we're usually thinking about punishment and more specifically jail time. But at this point, if you don't know, get to know, but it's basically common knowledge that successful rape prosecutions are rare, and it's not surprising. It's an incredibly demanding and traumatizing process for rape victims. It's also a demanding process for prosecution teams. And according to a Guardian report, it actually reveals that fewer than 1 in 60 rape cases actually lead to a charge in England and Wales. When cases take too long and the process involves the invasion of the privacy of the victim, this is not like rocket science to know and to, I guess, conclude with when thinking about this conversation, this discussion. But yeah, from 2017, rape prosecutions in the UK have been sharply falling in England and Wales, constituting a 70% fall in prosecutions. But this is happening in a context where the highest recorded annual figure of rape cases was seen in the year 2021. So there's more rape cases than ever, but there's less charges. So as a victim, seeing this, you're not going to feel like it's worth reporting your abuser and taking it to court and seeking justice through the criminal justice system. But yeah, the situation is similarly as dire in the US, because according to an article by the Washington Post, fewer than 6% of rapes end in arrest, and fewer than 1% end in conviction. Meanwhile, nearly 9 in 10 victims face emotional and physical consequences. So that's a bit of context. If it's an area you're not really familiar with, or you don't really come across, or I don't know, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. And yeah, it's clear that society like neither society nor the criminal justice system is set in a way that favors victims. It only takes literally dipping into the Instagram comment section when someone like a figure has been like accused of sexual abuse or sexual violence. You'll see people come from who know where, like from the pits, to just come and just say the most vile things about the survivors and questioning their truth and their motives and intent and the whole, they're just trying to bring this person down, it's a lie, how can you believe this person because of their sexual relationships, because of their past, because of their history, all that disgusting stuff. Within this context, it's not surprising why, if you find yourself being a victim of sexual violence, you're not going to feel emboldened and encouraged to come out with it and seek justice, or at least seek justice through the formal criminal justice system means. But yeah, unfortunately, when a person comes forward about something that's happened in the past, the odds become even more stacked against them because of how the system of putting evidence together and stuff for a successful prosecution is. And considering the fact that Cassie's doing like this, bringing this forward in regards to something that happened quite a while ago, it's most likely that she's in this position. Yeah, and also it's just facts that the US justice system is set up in a way that favors whoever's most influential, socially and financially speaking. Like, unless there's like a mountain of evidence against the person in question, which is the case with like Weinstein and Cosby, it's unlikely that you're actually going to be successful as a victim. And even if you are, it's well likely going to be at the expense of your peace and your privacy, which we saw with the case of Megan Thee Stallion, with the case involving Tory Lanez shooting her. Her life literally became like, people were treating it like it was reality TV, but it was literally about physical violence which had been inflicted on her. She's been slut-shamed so much because of the invasion of privacy involved in the process of the prosecution process. It's horrible to see, but that's just the reality of things. Yeah, so when we think about all this stuff, the data, just seeing the anecdotal experiences we've seen, whether it's like with people we know who've been personally affected by sexual violence, or just seeing celebrities whose experiences of it have been basically broadcasted to us. Seeing that, why are we surprised, or no, why do we insist that justice for survivors of sexual violence can only look like jail time for the abusers? Especially, like, who are we to define what justice can look like for them? In cases where abusers are powerful and widely celebrated men, I do believe reputational damage is justice, and I think financial reparations is justice. I'm sorry, but the system is set up against survivors of sexual violence. So what's so wrong with being strategic? What's so wrong with being strategic with one's legal approach to getting justice? Because I feel like sometimes the society, like as a society, or like at least certain people, are obsessed with the image of the helpless victim. Like, if you're not this delicate and helpless and distraught person, your victimhood is questioned and you're suspected of being manipulative or manipulating this situation. But if performing victimhood perfectly means being screwed over by the system, best believe I don't want that for anyone. Be smart and beat the system and get your justice. I support you. And like the commenter at akiomaroon said, how is it not justice to make him bleed green? Girl, get that money. Girl, get your justice. We love this for Cassie. We support you. We're proud of you. If you're over the age of 16, living in England and Wales, and you feel like you have been affected by any form of sexual violence or abuse, specialist and confidential support is available 24/7 to you. Simply call 0808 500 2222, 0808 500 2222, or visit 247sexualabusesupport.org.uk. So that's 247 sexualabuseupport.org.uk. This has been a heavy one, but it's been an important one. So let's take a few deep breaths. Let's take a few deep breaths. So breathe in for 3, exhale for 3. Again. Breathe in for 3, hold for 3, exhale for 3. I hope you're feeling more grounded. I'm wishing you love, peace, and light. I hope the week is a good one. Thank you for joining me this week. Kindly leave a rating and share. And of course, follow the pod at What to Do About Nothing Pod on Instagram and TikTok. I actually uploaded on TikTok, so you'll be happy. You'll be happy to see I'm actually doing something there. Are you proud of me? You should be. It's hard. It's new territory, doing challenging things, putting myself out there, going out of my comfort zone. So if you want to give me a little tap on the pat on the back. Basically, if you want to do that, why not share a story? Share the pod on your story to show people you're listening to it. Get it out there. If you're happy with what you've had and you want to cheer me on and be like, go girl, keep going, you're doing fantastic, love the pod. If you love the pod, you better share the pod and leave a rating. Love you. See you next week. Bye.